guys, thanks for coming back. Josh Landis, SoCo Customs, coming to you with the 5 things that you need to check before you do a lift kit on your truck. Not all of us have the luxury of having a brand new truck to work on, as we do some for the dealerships and everything's brand new. What this is about are the 5 things you need to check on a used truck that's got some miles, but you want a new stance on it. So the first thing on our list of things to check is going to be the ball joints, and we do this on an independent front suspension and a solid axle front suspension. So this kind of takes care of all of the trucks that you are going to lift or work on. This is a Chevy. This is a 1500 8 lug, so it's a HD. And for video purposes, we're actually going to check these ball joints in the air so we can show you what's actually wrong with this particular truck that we're getting ready to lift. When you normally check these, you want to have the truck jacked up underneath the lower control arm, allowing the suspension or the ball joints to be at rest. They can't have any weight on them whatsoever. So you can actually see the play that is in them. So what you want to do is keep that about 2 inches or an inch, just enough to get a pry bar underneath the tire. You want to hold the top of the tire and pry up from the bottom, and then have someone either inspecting, or you can just feel for play. If you feel for play, obviously you can have someone come isolate whether it's the upper ball joint or the lower ball joint. But again, we're gonna do this in the air and show you what we're talking about. Okay, so we're showing you, this is an independent front end with the upper ball joint and lower ball joint. So this is the lower ball joint. And what you're trying to see is if there's any movement, or you can see any movement or feel any movement vertically. So the second thing on our list to check is gonna be the steering linkage. This is, again, we're dealing with the Chevy, so we're dealing with a pitman arm and an idler arm and the bracket that the idler arm attaches to. And what we're trying to see is when we move the tire in a toe back and forth, we're trying to see if there's any movement or slack within that steering linkage. On a solid axle, you're looking at the dry link, or some people call it the center link. And obviously we can't show that to you on this truck, but we're gonna go ahead and show you what the pitman and idler arm look like, and then how to actually check that. So here you can see on the left side, this is the driver's side. It's the pitman arm, which connects to the steering box from the truck. And we were looking at the movement or the flex on that pitman arm. Over here we have the idler arm and the idler arm bracket. The idler arm is right here, and this is the bracket that idler arm attaches to. So when checking the pitman arm side, this is on the driver's side of the vehicle, you want to grab the tire firmly and you want to pop the tire back and forth. And that movement right there shows me that the pitman arm is out of spec. So now we're on the passenger side of the vehicle, and we're going to replicate exactly what we just showed you on the pitman arm on the idler arm side and check for movement over there. For all you solid axle guys out there, you're gonna be checking the drag link, or some people call it the center link. And you do that the exact same way we showed you to do it on the idler and the pitman arm on this independent front end. So the third thing on our list to check is gonna be the hub or the wheel bearings. Very important to check these things, as that is really what takes a lot of strain when we lift vehicles and we put a big 37-inch tire over here on a 20-inch rim or 22. So in order to do that, you want to grab the tire, move it up and down. Now, a lot of people can get confused with play if you don't have someone looking at it. So in doing that, you can easily mix up an upper ball joint movement and think it's a wheel bearing. So you want to have someone looking and watching and making sure that you are checking the wheel bearing tolerance. As you can see, this thing is way out of spec, and these wheel bearings are shot. All right, guys, we're getting down our list here. It's the 4th thing on our list to check before you lift your vehicle. And what we're gonna be looking here is the sway bar bushings. Not the links, because normally those are replaced within a kit because they're extended, or there's a relocation bracket. If your lift does have a relocation bracket for your sway bar link, you wanna make sure that those sway links are in good operating tolerance. So you just wanna check those before you take your truck apart. Otherwise, you're gonna have to replace them with a new part. But right now, what we're gonna talk about is the sway bar bushings. All right, so this is the sway bar bushing right here. This is that plastic piece. This is the retainer for the sway bar bushing. You wanna check this for cracking or any kind of major wear. And if you have a lot of gaps and stuff like that, This one I would call fine. All right, so we're getting down to the end of our list here, and it's the fifth thing on the list. So what we're about to show you is for independent front suspension only. And we'll go ahead and show you how to check the upper control arm bushings and lower control arm bushings. Okay, so right here we're dealing with the lower control arm, and what we're looking for is the play right in here and the control arm bushings. And now we're going to show you the upper control arm bushings. Very similar to the lower control arm, just obviously on the upper side of the suspension. All right, so when we're checking the upper and lower control arm bushings, we're looking for excessive play or the condition of the actual bushing itself. All right, so we made it through our 5 things to check on your truck or SUV before you lift it. And we're gonna throw in the 6th thing to check at no extra charge. Always, whenever you look at any of these components, you wanna make sure that your brake pads and your rotors are in good condition, because we're gonna be putting a lot more weight around as far as the wheel and the tire combinations. We wanna make sure that we can stop this big lifted beast that we've created. So, hey guys, thanks for tuning in. 5 things that you need to check before you do a lift kit. We appreciate you. Subscribe, give us a like, follow us. We appreciate everything, guys.